Moser Media Podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Commute. Here we are on April 27th, 2026. Hard to believe. And I read a little bit of fan mail, which is now, of course, just comments on social media. And yes, I get up early on a Monday to record the Monday Morning Commute. And in a couple of cases, I make reference to things that happened over the weekend just to prove that we are actually up and getting ready to get the week started very early on a Monday morning. And this is one of my secrets. As you get older, one of the things that happens, of course, is you start going to bed a little earlier. You start getting up a little earlier. Of course, as part of our project with WAOH Television, where we simulcast the Ray Horner Show from WAKR Radio here in Akron, that helped certainly in adjusting my sleep schedule as I started getting up at 4:30 in the morning to help that simulcast get off the ground. That continues to be a ton of fun, and a partnership with WAKR, certainly something we are very proud of. But I'll share with you this. There's another project I'm very proud of that I want to talk about today, and that is Akron Community Studios, as here we are getting ready for our summer interns and the workshops that we would like to have. Moser Media has had an internship program for more than 2 decades, and I know there's actually a lot of alumni out there that are supporting our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, certainly following and probably maybe watching right now. And of course, we don't take credit for their successes. There's a lot of successful alumni of our media program. They just needed the 150 hours that Kent State or the University of Akron require during the senior year, and Moser Media was always open to having interns, to having a place where students finishing their degree in media could have a place to learn, to complete their 150 hours, to shadow all of our video production crews. And so what we did is we created a nonprofit so that we could have a studio space that is dedicated to student interns. And then to take it a step further, we have opened it up to those who are not in college. And that group includes high school students who would like to take photography or media production workshops, maybe citizen journalists, we've got a few of those in the community who would like to get better at social media video production, those who would like to be able to tell stories, those who would like to have access to the technology, the cameras, the computers, the software, and a creative space to be able to record content. And much of that content we air on WAOH Television. So if we have a community group that would like to produce a segment, a feature on a nonprofit, or something about what a community group is doing here in Akron, then we have this dedicated space. And now here I am, after 34 years in video production, it's come down to this, I am begging for money. We are seeking donations to keep this studio going. Of course, Moser Media funds it. Of course, all the other media entities that we have in our enterprise have kicked in money to get this off the ground. But what we're looking for is for the community to step up, to recognize that there is a segment, perhaps of our population, high school students in particular, who are interested in media, who look at what we do in television production, in video production, creating TV commercials, creating social media content. They see all of this as something perhaps they would like to explore as a career for them. And we want to make the technology and learning everything accessible to all. We want to take down the barrier to entry in video production and in media. And the way to do that is through this program, and our summer workshops are coming up. So what we want to do is ask anyone watching that would be interested in supporting to sponsor one of our students. And you can do that as easily as a Zelle. And believe it or not, $5 goes a long way. We're going to have high school students from area high schools that do not have media production classes. And anyone, most everyone in media will tell you they got their start in a high school media program. They fell in love with camera work, video editing, animation, storytelling, journalism, all of it. For many, it started in high school. And there are a number of high schools that simply don't have the resources. Maybe they don't have the time. They don't have enough teachers. They don't have the space. They simply can't put on a media production program. So we'd like to fill that gap. We'd like to eliminate the barrier to entry in media by allowing students from districts that don't have video production to be able to come in and do a summer internship. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our Kent State students and our University of Akron students work with them, and part of their internship is teaching and mentoring, because all of these media students, the rising stars in video production, I call them, have so much to give. And I always say this line that people say to me, oh, it must be so great to be able to teach these students. And I will tell you, it goes the other way. I learned so much from the rising stars in media, those that have an understanding of the latest trends in social media, and those who are consuming media at 10 times the rate that I did growing up, and those who grew up with the technology and who embrace the software and all of it. And they have a lot to teach other students, and of course, those of us that have been in this business 34 years. So with that, I ask you to take a look at akroncommunitystudios.org. It's as easy as a Zelle, and I'll put it up there in the social media comments. You'll see hello at akroncommunitystudios.org is actually connected to our Zelle. And any donation, $5, would go directly into the fund that supports Akron Community Studios. It pays for the internet, it pays for the rent, it pays for the additional Adobe license that we are dedicating to this program. It pays for repair to cameras that have been donated. We have a donor who would like to remain anonymous, and that donor gave us lights and cameras and all kinds of technology, even older computers. And of course, we would accept donations of cameras, lights, older computers. We can make all of that work. It's wonderful to be able to have additional cameras to give to students learning photography. And even if you think it's broken or old or outdated, we can use it in a learning environment. So we have an incredible donation, and some of the stuff needs to be repaired. Of course, we need additional space to be able to store, to be able to build an additional studio, to be able to have additional edit rooms. And so all of that requires money. And so if you are so moved to support our students for the summer internship coming up, just simply go to Zelle, and hello at akroncommunitystudios.org is the way to donate. Of course, if you visit akroncommunitystudios.org, you'll see the place, our address, and all of that, even a good old-fashioned check in the mail if you'd like to sponsor one of our students. And I will leave you with a costume change, and we left this to the end, just in case it doesn't work out. But I have a real dilemma. My dilemma is that I love the incredible media program they have at Kent State University and what they're doing with Kent State Television and their journalism program and all of it. They're at, shout out to everybody in Franklin Hall, and of course, they're in Olson Hall where a lot of the students live. Of course, they have the residential hall where they live, breathe, work every day. Media production there at Kent State, they do a great job. But of course, the University of Akron has a lot of my money, and I have very few of their credits, but we're working on it, and we'll get there. It's always part of a fun story to tell that I did classes. As a non-traditional student, I have 48 credits at the University of Akron, and in addition to that, we have an incredible partnership between WAOH Television and ZTV, part of the University of Akron School of Communications, and Juan Contreras does an incredible job as the professor teaching video production through ZTV. Over the weekend, I went to an art show at the Myers School of Art at the University of Akron, and that is where they're teaching graphic design, animation, and After Effects, 2D, 3D, motion graphics. It's incredible what they're doing over there at the University of Akron. So at any given time through this internship program, I have my Kent State students or University of Akron students, and they coexist in the same room. There is no battle of the wagon wheel when it comes to media and video production. They all work together. It is absolutely great. So I have this dilemma. So I have this on because we have our Kent State students come in to produce Good Morning Akron. They do it here in the studio every morning, right here from our studio here at 388. But to wrap it up, we're going to do a costume change, and I hope this is not an epic disaster. But there it is. When our Kent State students come in, I've got the hoodie ready to go. There it is, but at any given time, you got to be ready, because there it is, go Zips, just in case we get our University of Akron students come in. Now, of course, at any given time, we could have multiple students from either school in the room, and that is always fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for considering supporting our internship program as we have created this nonprofit, so that this internship program can grow to be something that serves the community, something that everyone can participate in as access to technology and access to cameras, all of that, the cost of software and the cost of learning is this incredible barrier to entry to this business that we love, and we intend to remove that barrier for those perhaps from financially disadvantaged school districts that don't have the resources. We're going to take some steps to do this. It's something I'm very proud of. Our internship for 2 decades or more has been something that has been fulfilling and moves us with great purpose to support those entering this great industry that we love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been the Monday Morning Commute.
Mosier Media Podcast.